That's why we should change the ideology. Prabhupada wanted, he wrote in the Chaitanya Charitamrita one purport, one sloka purport. Sandarbhas also has to be read. That means, huh? 270, na? Yeah. Yeah. Mataji is so enthusiastic. Okay, share. Mike, give mic to her. Then she will become more.
Very important.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
False devotees, lacking the conclusion of transcendental knowledge, think that artificially shedding tears will deliver them. Similarly, other false devotees think that studying books of the previous acharyas is unadvisable, like studying dry empiric philosophies. But Srila Jiva Goswami, following the previous acharyas, has inculcated the conclusions of the scriptures in the 6 theses called the Shat Sandarbhas. False devotees who have very little knowledge of such conclusions fail to achieve pure devotion for want of zeal in accepting the favorable directions for devotional service given by self-realized devotees. Such false devotees are like impersonalists, who also consider devotional service no better than an ordinary fruitive actions. Here Srila Prabhupada asserts that the conclusions of the scriptures are in the Shat Sandarbhas. Devotees eager to be fortified with these conclusions will therefore pay close attention to the presentation of Sandarbhas in English, complete with illuminating commentary on the words of Srila Jiva Goswami. Such scrutinizing study is especially cherished by devotees who are dedicated to the preaching mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Today, sadly, even among those in the direct line of Sri Jiva Goswami, study of Sandarbhas is neglected. Srila Prabhupada, however, before embarking on his mission to bring Krishna consciousness to the Western world, prepared himself by studying the Sat Sandarbhas and has encouraged his followers to do the same.
Who wrote this? From where it? Huh?
In the beginning only.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, forward, okay. Yeah. Even when he wrote a letter to Sardar Vallabhai Patel, so in that letter also he is mentioning Sankirtan movement. Means Kirtan and also books. Shat Goswamis were residing in the staying in the were staying in Vrindavan Dham, and they were compiling so many books, and books also comes under the Sankirtan Yajna. So Sankirtan means many times thinks that they only the Kirtan with Kartal and the Mridanga, whatever we do. But whatever we read books and teach books, this is also Sankirtan movement. So that's why it is very essential, because if you read the Sandarbhas, now in the present time actually human brain, how many directions and how many ways it can run, it can go in all the directions and all the doubts. That means human brain may function in many directions and get many doubts, and all those doubts can be clarified by the Sandarbhas. So then you will not be having any doubt further. That means your Shraddha will become very proper. Even if you become thorough with the Sandarbhas, though even I don't think actually other Sampradayas they have such a solid book. So this kind of Sandarbha book on the Srimad Bhagavatam, how we have, nobody is having such a solid literature, standard literature, which is elaborated literature. Very systematically it is given. Yeah, systematically it is explained, very elaborately and very systematically it is explained. So that's why, especially in the future, if you want to invite the uh, intellectuals into our movement, we have to have this kind of facility. Otherwise, just by the rudely, we should not preach. Rudely means, hey, you do the service, everything will be revealed. That's all. So this kind of rudeness is there. Rudeness means if someone is having enthusiasm to inquire things, and they have inquisitiveness to know the things, so uh, uh, so such we should not suppress their inquisitiveness. Even Krishna also Arjuna showed his inquisitiveness and asking questions, and Krishna didn't say, "Hey, service is enough. Why you are asking all these questions?" He didn't say, na, actually. He didn't say. Even Sutta Goswami, Maitreya Rishis, they are asking. Sonakad Rishis, and Vidura was asking to Maitreya, and so many other Rishis. Nobody said. So, whatever question is asked, so you see Parikshit Maharaj in the 8th chapter of 2nd canto, he was asking so many things. Even what is the time, how this creation, everything is answered by the Sukadeva Goswami, very detailed in the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. हाँ, हाँ,
इसमें अनेक प्रकांड विद्वान तथा आचार्य यथा जीव गोस्वामी, सनातन गोस्वामी, विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती, वल्लभाचार्य तथा चैतन्य महाप्रभु के पश्चात भी अन्य अनेक प्रसिद्ध विद्वान ने भागवत पर विशद टीकाएं की है। ऐसे गंभीर अध्येता को चाहिए कि दिव्य उपदेश को अधिक आस्वादन के लिए इन सब का अध्ययन करें। Prabhupada said that there are many commentators like Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Vallabhacharya, and those who wants to release Srimad Bhagavatam, they must read their books.
So, that is true. We know knowledge, we can know the knowledge, na? Realization purpose we do service. So for knowing also, why you always push, why we have to postpone till that extent. So yeah, yeah, many times we see, but Srila Prabhupada says every devotee has to go through books at least 5 hours. That is a standard. You sent one time, you remember? He sent to me, and after that I sent to you. He forgot. Every day, 5 hours they should read, and remaining time, so they can go for the book distribution and other things. So our movement is Goshtyanand, that is preaching mission. Chaitanya's is a mission actually. Chaitanya mission it is. Preaching everywhere. So in our mission, mainly what we are doing, we are going to preach. So preaching means you will be facing different kinds of people who have the different knowledge. That means different doubts and different ideologies they are having. So if you want to convince them, so you should know the properly philosophy, because it is a preaching moment. It's not just bhajana in this. We are just sit and do bhajan, and no need of preaching, no need to convince others. It's not like that. Then if you say only do bhajan and that is everything you will reveal, you are going to against our mission. Chaitanya's mission is what? Is a preaching mission. Means what? You should know the content properly, knowledge properly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Before starting from the temple,
Yeah.
Banu Maharaj came. So I told him, the Maharaj, I want Bhakti Sandarbha from you. He said, "Hey, you can take, no problem." But when I was leaving, he didn't come. But at the last moment, he came. And he said, "You leaving?" "Yes, I am leaving." He said, "Just come to my room. I'll give you Bhakti Sandarbha." But when I saw the Bhakti Sandarbha, I was thinking, Maharaj, how can I carry this? Because all pages separated completely. I asked him, how it did happen? He said, I went through so many times that it happened automatically. Because, you cannot, it will be difficult. Once fall from your hand means, it will be very difficult for you. It happened like that. That means how many times he studied Bhakti Sandarbha. I was thinking, and I said, Maharaj, I cannot carry this. He said, why? I said, before I reach in Vrindavan, it will finish. So better you keep it with you. I'll buy new one.
So okay, we'll come to our point. Yeah. We'll try to see. This is our generation. It's a new generation, and now mission is on our shoulders actually now. will carry forward. So, we have respect for our elders and our seniors. We should always respect them. So, they did the very magnanimous service, and for the future generations, anyway, everything always, even Sri Vyasadeva also updated Srimad Bhagavatam. He wrote the. uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It is Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Srila Prabhupada said how it is there in that, in the summarized it is. But Srila Prabhupada said it is written. Uh, Many thing much thing he took from there. Editing, yeah, little editing. So, in the 30th Anuched we were seeing Utpatti Sthiti Laya Ityadi Padye Yadrupam Adruvam Akrutam Yadrupam Dhruvam Akrutam Iti Yasya Sri Sankarshanasya Rupam Dhruvam Anantam Akrutam Cha Anadi Atayeva Varshadi Varshadhipopasana Varnane Bhavena Api Tadrupam Adikrutyoktam न यस्या माया गुण चित्त वृत्तिभिः निरीक्षितो अन्वपि दृष्टिरज्यते इति. We already went through these lines. Just now, I will summarize these lines once again. I will remind so that connection will come. Previously, what we were discussing, the Lord's body is also inherent, is internal to him, is inherent, or it is a Sarupagatam. Sarupagatam means it is inherent to his nature, or otherwise it is internal to him, Sarupagatam. And now we want to say this body is not created by anyone. It is beyond the birth and death. That also we discussed. Mother Devaki, so Devaki was saying, what she was saying? She was saying Lord's body is beyond birth and death. How it is said? How? Can anyone remember this? What she was saying? No, 10th canto. Nashte loke dviparardhavasane mahabhuteshvadhibhutam gateshu vyakto vyaktam kala vegena yate bhavan ekah sishyate shesha sangyah. What she was saying, she is seeing the body of the Lord. Small boy is in front of her, and she is seeing him, and what she is saying, you only the shesha sangyah. That means you are the reminder. You are the reminder of the total creation. That means if you divide back the whole creation, so then what will be happening? Finally, you will be having only Lord is remaining. That means this manifested world. What is the sound? So this manifested world, when it gets unmanifested, that means all the gross elements go and merge into their causes. All the effects go and merge into the cause. Then finally there is a Prakriti, and that Prakriti also go and merge into the Supreme Lord. So then finally who will be there? Finally Lord will be there. So Shesha Sangyaha. So, and one more point also she said, that means to say Lord's body is beyond the birth and death, she said next sloka, yoyam kala tasya te vyakta bandho cheshta mahus cheshtate yena vishvam nimeshadir vatsaranto mahiyans tam tveshanam kshemadhama prapadye. And after that she said, this time is nothing but it is a chesta, it's your activity of what? Opening and closing of your eyes. Just when you open and close, time is created. How much time is spent in that? 100 years of the Brahmaji is is uh, is is elapsed in the time of opening and closing. So that means time is also one of the activity of the Lord. Like creation is also activity, and maintenance is the activity of the Lord. Similarly, time is also activity of the Lord. He created that. So now, so then, since the time is created by Him, and death and birth both are binded by the time, but that time is created by the Lord, so that's why Lord's body is beyond the birth and death. Beyond the birth and death. This point also we have seen. Then finally, that's why she is saying, so my dear Lord, so I have no fear. I have no fear from this Kamsa, because that means no fear means Kamsa may come and take this boy also, and he may kill. So such a fear I don't have now. I don't, because you are beyond the time, and you are beyond the birth and death. So Kamsa cannot do anything. And not only this, even the Mrityu also run away from you. Mrityur asmat apaiti. So Mrityu also, even death also runs away from you. So like this, we have seen in the 29th Anucheda, and after that in the 30th Anucheda, we continued discussing about the Lord's body, Sri Vigraha. Lord's Sri Vigraha. And what is that? It is said in some places of Srimad Bhagavatam as Tamasi Murti. Tamasi. Many places, two places. One place Sukadeva Goswami himself is saying, and another place Lord Shiva is saying. So then if Lord's body is beyond time and beyond gunas, then how it can be Tamasi Murti? How it can be is a manifestation of the, or is a presiding deity of the, it is a presiding deity of Tamoguna. How it can be? How to understand this? So because Sukadeva Goswami also is saying, and our Lord Shiva is also saying, then we said, what is the answer for this? Why it is said as Tamasi Murti? They are keeping, especially first you should see the context. In which context they are saying? They are seeing the Sankarshan Bhagavan, and they are saying this Sankarshan Bhagavan is Tamasi. Actually, Sankarshan Bhagavan's Swamsha is what? Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the Swamsha of the Sankarshan Bhagavan. And that's why through the Lord Shiva, Sankarshan Bhagavan is operating the Tamoguna, is controlling the Tamoguna and doing the destruction. So in this way, he is helping Tamoguna to destroy the creation. So that's why he is known as Tamasi Murti. So Tamogunopakaritvena Gneyam Utpatti Sthitilaya Ityadi Padyanantaram. So that's why we should understand that a Lord is transcendental only, but because he is, that means Sankarshan Bhagavan is helping Tamoguna through the Lord Shiva, who is the Swamsha of him. So that's why he is known as there Tamasi Murti. There is one more point. Sri Shukena, Narada is saying in the 25th chapter of 5th canto, what Narada is saying? Murtihinaha purukrupaya babhara murtirnaha purukrupaya babhara sattvam samshuddham sadasadidam vibhati yatra. In the 25th chapter, after Sukadeva Goswami's statement, Narada Muni himself is saying, Sattvam samshuddham. Sattvam samshuddham. Sadasad idam. Sattvam samshuddham. Important point is samshuddham. Is a pure. Tasmat nityameva sarvam bhagavad rupam. Contextually he said as Tamasi Murti. Originally he is not tamasi. Contextually. Contextually means what is the context? Sankarsana Bhagavan's Swamsha is Shiva, and Shiva is operating the tamoguna, and that's why Sankarsana Bhagavan through the Shiva he is helping tamoguna to destroy this creation. So that's why he is known as Tamasi Murti. Contextually, that is the contextual. But originally he is Nityam. That means he is Nirgunam. Nityam means Nirgunam. Without Nirguna, one cannot be Nityam. Okay, it is clear. Next, Tathacha Padmottara Kande Tat Stutihi Anadi Nidanananta Vapushe Vishwarupine Iti Yadatra Skandadau Kvachit Brahmakamasti Tattattu Tattat Purananam Tamasakalpakatamayatva Tattat Kalpeshu Cha Sri Bhagavata Swamahima Varnat Yuktameva Tad Iti Na Bhagavat Tattva Pratipadana Param Sushka Vairagya Shiva Mahimadi Tatparya Katvat. In the Skanda Purana we see Kvachit Brahmakamasti. Okay, in the Bhagavatam, wherever you saw Lord's form is Tamasi, that means is the presiding deity of Tamoguna. This thing you nicely explained. Okay, Narada Muni said, only contextually it is said, but actually it is Nityam only. But if you see in other Puranas, in the Skanda Purana and other Puranas, Shiva Purana, there you are seeing Lord Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kvachit Brahmakam. It will just bewilder your intelligence. In the Devi Bhagavatam, Devi and she is controlling Lord Vishnu, Shiva and Brahma. She is the controller of all these three deities. And if you see in the Agni Purana, Agni is the superior than anything. All devatas are dependent on Agni, because the Agni takes the ablations whatever offered by the Brahmanas and he is feeding to everyone. That's everyone is dependent on Agni. Agni is supreme. And all devatas, even Vishnu is also one of them among them. So like this you see. So then, like this, various Puranas are explaining various deities as supreme. So then how to understand this? Here it is said, Tattat Purananam. That means Skandadi Purananam Tamasa Kalpa Katamayatvat. Tamasa Kalpa Katamayatvat. We already learned, that means this point we discussed, like how our day is categorized into goodness, passion and ignorance. Morning 2 praharas are known as, how many praharas? Praharas we have? Total 8. So 8. Morning 8, how to divide? I don't know. So at least morning 3, 3, 3, 9. 3 divisions we should do. So 8 hours, anyway 24 hours you take, 8, it is easy. So 8 hours first. Morning 3 o'clock to, so we'll consider it as a Brahma Muhurtam actually. So it is Sattvika and afternoon time is Rajasika and midnight is more Tamasika. Tamoguna. That means, but Tamoguna is predominant. In that time, night time, you'll see club dance and all this drinking and wine, going to the prostitute, all these things happen night time only. Even a such a great person, that means he is a fallen person, and he is a drug addict, he is a liquor addictor, even he chain smoker or the any person or the drinker. But still early morning, waking up 5 o'clock and drinking, you'll never see like that. Nobody does. Even he's a drunkard. See, generally the auto wala, rickshaw wala, all these are all drunkards. So even they are drunkards and they drink night time, that smell will come. But early morning they just get bathed and so they will nicely put tilak to their Ishta Devata and they will put those two samrani scents, incense, and just he will make the whole, even his rickshaw, auto rickshaw, peaceful and sattvic. Riksha puja, not riksha, so some deity, some picture he keeps, like some Durga or something, Ganesha or something. So like this, even such a people, that means morning time automatically is sattvic, and nobody get the mode. That means tamoguna is very less. That means the influence of tamoguna is less, and activities of every living entity is also less tamasic. Until unless our engineering students and these people are really tamasic, so they will they will sleep at morning 3 o'clock, and their night start at 3 o'clock, and they may do some nasty things in the morning, but other than these people nobody will do. Any general creature, so they will follow the time, and their activities according to the time. So morning time they do activities in the mode of goodness. In the afternoon time it is a mode of passion. So that's why you will be seeing in the corporate companies any meetings, targets, challenges. So whatever this kind of meetings, always they keep at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. After 12 o'clock they keep. They never keep in the morning time. We have to just cross this company. So now the HP has to cross IBM. So like we used to have in the, when I was working in the corporate, we were having this kind of meetings. So like the target setting meetings, divisional meetings otherwise sometimes. So these targets they discuss, they inspire the people in the afternoon time, they mostly. And night time drinking and wines, generally office also, in the corporate office we generally do in the night. Yeah, drink, yes. So the time is influencing. So our day is also categorized into 3 modes. So then Brahmaji's, the whole total Brahmaji's one kalpa. One kalpa also everything. Like Brahmaji's one day is also is categorized like this, and Brahmaji's 1 month also is categorized like this. Brahmaji having 1 month, that means 30 kalpas are 30 kalpas equal to 1 month of the Brahmaji. What is the first kalpa? Name of the first kalpa? First kalpa, Brahma kalpa. First kalpa is. Second is. Like that, I forgot actually. What is the last kalpa? The last kalpa is some Pitru kalpa, something is there. Like this. Yeah, like this. So here Jiva Goswami, what he is saying, Tattat Purananam Tamasa Kalpa Kathamayatvat. So it depends upon the kalpa. Like if the day morning time is predominantly influenced by the mode of goodness, that's why you'll be seeing the activities in the mode of goodness, and even all the living entities are acting in that mode mostly. So in the same way, when the kalpa is a sattvic kalpa, Lord also comes in the sattvic form, in the Vishnu form. And when the kalpa is tamas, rajasic kalpa, Lord will take such a, that means that deity, Lord's, all other are incarnations, all are Lord's incarnations only. Then Brahmaji will be the predominant deity, or this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He will be said as Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Brahma Purana. And in the, if you see in that kalpa is tamasic kalpa, so then Shiva is a predominant, and Shiva is glorified as Supreme Personality of Godhead based upon the kalpa. So but everyone is Lord only, na? Everyone is Lord. Lord only means they are all the avatars, different incarnations, guna avatars. Brahma is also guna avatar of the Lord, and Shiva is also guna avatar of the Lord. But what is the difference between the Lord and this avatara? So Lord is not exhibiting his all the glories as it is in that form, in the guna avatara. So he is only just, that means a few things. He is covering himself, and he is taking the form of, he is taking Guna Avatara, Brahmaji. Lord's, how to understand, you see, philosophically, what is Brahmaji? Brahmaji means what? Jiva Tattva is there, and Lord's creating energy is given to that Jiva Tattva, is charged on Jiva Tattva. Then this Jiva Tattva empowered that Jiva Tattva is empowered with the creating energy of the Lord. So then it is known as Brahmaji. So that's why so this energy is belong to the Lord, and energy is not different from the energetic, and that's why we say in this way. So Brahmaji is, that means he is the avatar of the Lord, is also avatar of the Lord. Svetvara Kalpa, this is Satik Kalpa, I think. It's not, Kalpa means not only one Mahayuga, it is. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come in every Kalpa. Yes. He comes in every Kalpa. In comes in which? Huh? He comes every time once in. 28th Divya Yuga, yes. He comes every day. Yeah, Krishna comes once in a day. Tat tamasa kalpakatha mayatva tat tat kalpeshu cha Sri Bhagavata swamahima avaranat yuktameva taditi. So that's why you will be seeing Brahmaji as a predominating deity or the famous. In that Rajasika Kalpa, Brahmaji is famous. Everyone will worship Brahmaji as Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Tamasik Kalpa, they worship Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because that is favorable for them, for their nature. So, Lord only is appearing everywhere. He is taking incarnation everywhere. But he is hiding in that other forms, but he is exhibiting in the form of Krishna. So that's why Swamahima Avarana Yuktameva Taditi Na Bhagavat Tattva Pratipadana Param. This Purana is written, so all the stories which are happened in the Rajasic Kalpa are compiled as Purana. Similarly, stories happened in the Tamasic Kalpa also compiled as Purana. Tamasika Kalpa Katha Mayeshu Mayaha. What is that? Purana. Purana is compiled with the stories which happened in the Tamasic Kalpa. Rajasika Puranas are explaining the stories which happened in the Rajasic Kalpa. Yes, but those are all famous. Like you see, Sankirtan is there in all the yugas. Like Prahlad Maharaj Grunan, he is saying, so my dear Lord, I want to always take your holy name. I want to chant your holy name. I don't want any other boon. Sankirtan is there, but is it famous? It's not famous. That means nobody is doing that. If you see in the Satyuga, nobody likes to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, nobody does. Only few people, people like Prahlad. And similarly, in the Kali Yuga, it is famous. Everyone is doing. Even if someone is not devotee, but just to make the rock band also, they use this. Just to make rock music, they use the Hare Krishna mantra and sing. So this is happening. This is because it is so famous in the Kali Yuga. So like this, other forms also existing. Other forms also existing. That means Vishnu form also will exist definitely. But which is famous? That you have to see. Yeah. So sometimes we do in the midnight the Krishnastami. It's not that we always do the tamasic activities only. We do Abhisheka of the Krishna at the midnight. That is also possible. So, but it is not famous, na? It's not frequent. It's not natural. It's not natural. It's a very special. The same way, in Tamasic Kalpa, you might be seeing the other deities, other forms, so even Krishna form also. But what is the famous? So that is described. That the famous is the Shiva, and that's why. So Shiva Mahima is explained. Shiva Mahima is glorified in that Kalpa. So that's why the same thing is written in that Purana. So that's why Shiva Purana is describing Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the reason. This is clear, na concept? Any doubt in this? Matsya Purana we can try. Actually, Matsya Purana is discussing about and Purana Paryalochan. There is one book compiled by someone. So there also you might be seeing this kind of information more, and definitely we'll be seeing which Kalpa and present Kalpa is what. You'll be seeing the Puranas only. Puranas only. That has to be researched. Purana Paryalochanam is a compiled book. That means this Purana Paryalochanam is explaining about the different aspects of the Puranas. So yeah, general information. So maybe you can find from that book, or otherwise Matsya Purana is also categorization of the Puranas into three. Tamasika, Rajasika, Satvika is done in the Matsya Purana. So there also in that context you might be seeing this. Maybe commentaries or somewhere, some other books. I don't know clearly. Detailed information I don't have. तामसकल्प कथामयत्वा तत्तत् कल्पेषु च श्री भगवता स्वमहिम आवरणात् युक्तमेव तदिति न भगवत तत्व प्रतिपादना परम. So now we are seeing in the Tamasic Kalpa Shiva as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that means now this Shiva is, why don't we consider Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead, and based upon Shiva Purana, and others will be the Gauna. Why can't we take like this? Why don't we follow Shiva Purana and accept this Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead? One may say like this. But no, we cannot say, we cannot accept this. Sushka Vairagya Shiva Mahimadi Tatparya Katvat. Why don't we accept? Because Shiva Purana is promoting what? Sushka Vairagya. That means dry renunciation and Shiva Mahima. It is explaining about the glory of the Shiva. So that's why we don't accept. And tataha tat paratva bhavat na tatra yathartyam cha. Actually, Shiva Purana is not right. It is not actual. It is not saying correct. It is not correct. Shiva Purana is not yathartyam, means is not right. Is not right means you should not say Puranas is wrong, but it's not the fact. It's not right, no, it's right only, but it's not fact. Whatever Shiva Purana is speaking is not fact. What Shiva Purana is speaking, Shiva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not fact. It's not yathartyam. Why it is not fact? Because it is describing Sushka Vairagyam, it is promoting Sushka Vairagyam and all, and it is glorifying the Shiva. Tatha vidam Shivadi Pratipadakam Shastram cha Vaishnavaihi Nagrahyam Skandayeva Shanmukam Prati Sri Sivenoktam Shivasastrepi Tadgrahyam Vishnu Shastropayogi Yat Iti. Because why should not accept Shiva Purana as a fact? That means whatever subject matter is established by the Shiva Purana should not be taken as the highest or as the authority. Why? The reason is In the Skanda Purana, Lord Shiva himself is saying to the Shanmuga, that means to his son Subramanya Swami, Kartikeya. So he is saying to the Kartikeya, what he is saying, Shiva Shastrepi Tadgrahyam. Even in the scriptures or Puranas which are describing about the Shiva, in those Shastras, you should take that much part of that Shastra which establishes Vishnu. Vishnu Shastra Upayogi Yat Tat Grahyam. Atayeva Padmottara Kande Tatha Vida Purana Namapi Tamasattvameva Uktam. That's why in the Padma Purana also it is said, Shiva and all other all Tamasattvameva Uktam. न च एवं तेषां पुराणानाम् अप्रामाण्यम् आपतितम् परमात्मसन्दर्भे दर्शयिष्यमाणेन मत्स्यपुराणवचनानुसारेण तामसराजसकल्पमयत्वं तेषां सात्विककल्पकथामयत्वं तु विष्णुप्रतिपादकानां तत्तद्गुणमयत्वम् इति तत्तत्कल्पं प्राप्य श्रीविष्णुरेव तथा आत्मानं प्रत्यायत इति. So then, what we should understand? Shall we take that? That means all these Puranas are not authentic. So now Shiva Purana should not be treated as authentic Purana. It is authentic Purana or not now? That means some part of that Purana is authentic and some is not authentic. How do you understand? You tell. Uh. In this material world, Lord Shiva is supreme. So in this world, that means Vishnu is not supreme personality of God, and Vishnu is supreme personality of Godhead to the other world, and in this world, Shiva is the supreme personality of Godhead. Is it like that? No. But there it is said in the Shiva Purana, Shiva as the supreme than the Vishnu. It is said like that. You are getting? But that means here it is not that three Jagadishwara. Jagadishwara concept is different. So these three are the Ishwaras that we accept. But in the Shiva Purana, if it is said like that, then there is no problem. But Shiva Purana is saying, compared to Brahma and Vishnu, Shiva is supreme. It is said. So then how to understand? That means this Purana is authentic or not now? Shiva Purana is authentic or not? That means less. That means 50%, 40. How much percent is authentic? Okay. I am asking whether it is authentic or not. If you say it is not authentic, that means Vasudev wrote such a literature which is not authentic and is sending to everyone. That means he is bewildering. So now how to understand? That means people may put an argument to you like this. If you present this philosophy, whatever we discussed till now, then immediately they will catch like this. So now how to answer this? That is explained now. Let's. Huh? Huh? Prabhuji? Okay. Number means? Mobile. Okay. So, nacha evam tesham purananam apramanyam apatitam. That means nacha. That means you should not think that they are not authentic. You should not say they are not authentic. If you say that they are not authentic, that means we are blaming Vasudev actually. So they are authentic. In what way they are authentic, that you should explain. Paramatma Sandarbhe Darshishyamana Matsya Purana Vachananusarena. We will be discussing this in Paramatma Sandarbha, and also we will discuss here also. Matsya Purana Vachananusarena. So now we should bring to explain this. That means even Shiva Purana is establishing Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead, still it is authentic. How it is authentic? So now we are explaining. Based upon the statement of Matsya Purana. Matsya Purana, what it is saying? Tamasa Rajasa Kalpa Katamayatvam Tesham. Actually, Aduksha Prabhu, you are asking, na, Tamasik Kalpa, Rajasik Kalpa, you should see in the Matsya Purana only. Matsya Purana Vachananusarena Tamasa Rajasa Kalpa Katamayatvam Tesham Satvika Kalpa Katamayatvam Vishnu Pratipadakānam Tattad Gunamayatvam iti Tattat Kalpam Prapya Sri Vishnureva Tadatmanam Pratyayata iti. Means Tamasika Purana, Rajasika Purana and Satvika Purana. We have three types of Puranas, three categories of Puranas. Tamasic Puranas are having the Tamasic Kalpa Katha. Rajasic Purana is having Rajasic Kalpa Katha. Satvik Purana is having Satvik Kalpa Katha. Kathamayatvam. But out of these three stories, three types of Puranas are having three different stories. Okay? And now, out of these three, whom we should, out of these three, Sattva Sanjayate Gnanam. Satvika Kalpa Kathamayatvam tu Vishnu Pratipadakānam. So that means Satvika Kalpa Katha, Satvika Puranas, they are having the Satvika Kalpa Katha, they establish Vishnu. Tattad Gunamayatvam iti Tattat Kalpam Prapya Vishnu Pratipada Satvika Kalpa Kathamayatvam tu Vishnu Pratipadakānam Tattad Gunamayatvam iti Tattat Kalpam Prapya Sri Vishnureva Tatha Atmanam Pratyayata iti. Now the understanding is like this. This Satvika Kalpa Katha, Satvika Puranas are having Satvika Kalpa Katha, they are establishing Vishnu, and this Vishnu only is taking the form of Brahman, Shiva, and he is helping the different gunas in those forms. And that's why ultimately Vishnu only is existing in each Purana. Each Purana is also explaining about the Vishnu only, but with the gunas. With the, that means Vishnu, simple, all of you know just now, but the just explanation is a little bit is inside is there. But a concept you know. That's why if anyone asks you what about Shiva Purana and Brahma Purana, Shiva Purana and Brahma Purana also explaining about Vishnu only. But what kind of Vishnu? The Vishnu who is helping the respective gunas. Vishnu, to help the Rajoguna, he took the form of Brahmaji. Vishnu, to help the Tamoguna, he took the form of the Shiva. So, but originally, who is that? Vishnu. So that's why they are all authentic. But Shiva is not Vishnu, but Vishnu is Shiva.
Then there is no right person to take care that Brahma role. So Lord Vishnu only will take that Brahma form.
Yeah. Even Jiva also, if it say, no problem. Even if Jiva take the Brahma form, no problem. Jiva is also belong to, Jiva is also an avatar of the Ishvara. Every living entity is also avatar of the, you are also the avatar of the Lord. You are also avatar of the means, its energy, who is that? This Jiva, Tatsa Shakti is belong to whom? Jiva Shakti is also. You are not the Lord. Amsha avataras. Vibhinna amsha avataras. Swamsha avataras and Vibhinna amsha avataras. No. Shiva is Swamsha. Swamsha means that's some different. It is not Swamsha, not Vibhinna. You see? Yeah. Vivinamsha. So the concept now we have to explain to them. These are all also ultimately establishing Vishnu only. Tamasic and Rasic Puranas also establishing Vishnu only. Now everyone asks what the question they ask. How can you say Vishnu is the source for this Shiva and Brahma? This kind of question will come actually. So because when you prove Vishnu is the source for the Brahma and Shiva, or Shiva and Brahma are the incarnations or the Gunavataras of the Lord, then you can do this logic. Then Shiva Purana and the Brahma Purana also is ultimately indirectly is establishing Vishnu only. But why there only Vishnu has said as Supreme Personality of Godhead compared to Vishnu? Because that is meant for the Tamasika and Rajasika people. That's why it is mentioned like that. But ultimately in that form also, ultimately Vishnu is established. But point what you have to establish, Vishnu is the source for the Brahma and Shiva. This has to be established. This how can you establish? Many slokas are there. Mataji looking at you because she is interested in answer. Sattvam rajastama iti prakrute gunaha tairyuktah paraha purusha eka ihasya datte stityadaya hari virinchi hareti sangyaha shreyamsi tatra kalu sattvatanor nunamsihu. This is the Rambana actually. It's, this sloka is always protect you. My God, this sloka I said, I have told, I was telling this hundreds of times. 24, 23, 23. So then one may say, why can't I worship then? If Shiva is also incarnation of the Lord, I will worship Shiva and I will go back to the Godhead. Is it okay? No. You cannot worship Shiva. You should not worship Shiva and you should not worship Brahma. If you want a liberation, if you want to really get the benefit, you should not worship them. Vishnu is cause of all these avatars. That's why you say Vishnu is only ultimately established by other Puranas. So that's why they are also authentic. But you cannot say Shiva is the source of everything and from the Shiva only everything came. You cannot say in the reverse way. What that Purana is saying as it is, that you cannot accept. That Purana is saying Shiva is supreme and all others are inferior. That statement you should not take. Why? Shiva himself is saying, which is the statement which is establishing Vishnu, that only you should take, my dear son, you should not take, which is explaining this Shiva Pratipadika Vakyani, you should not take that directly. Shiva Pratipadika Vakyani means which, the statement which establishes Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead, that you should not take. But that is authentic only, that scripture, because Shiva is also is a one avatar of the Vishnu only. In that way, it is ultimately establishing Vishnu only. So by the Vaishnavas, that's why we should not take the statements which establish Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Questions?
It's not like that, right? Depend on their person,
Yeah.
and they compile that Shastra. How to understand this?
Purana is a book actually. It is, it is not. It is book, na? How can you say it is? What do you mean of that? That means I am not getting.
You said that Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic.
Puranas, yes.
Yeah. So how to understand this? The Purana is the Rajasic, Sattvic, or
They are Rajasika Purana because they are explaining the stories related to the Rajasika Kalpa. So that's why it's the Rajasika Purana. Yeah. So like Brahmaji is there. Brahmaji is controlling the Rajoguna. And by that controlling Rajoguna, he is creating. He is doing the action of creating. So creation. He is doing creation. Then Brahmaji is what he is doing? Then we say he is a Rajasika avatar of the Lord. It doesn't mean that the Brahmaji is becoming Rajasika. Brahmaji is controlling the Rajasika Guna. You say rickshaw, that means, hey rickshaw. You are calling who is driving driving rickshaw, you call him as, hey rickshaw. Yes or no? He is becoming rickshaw. He is having the 4 wheels and that. Yeah. Sabji, someone is selling the vegetables, mangoes. Hey mango. She's a mango, he's mango. No. So like that. Yeah.
Lord himself glorify the demigods. So how to means they quoted the Puranas, and in Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam also there are some verses where Lord glorifies like Shiva or others. So they quote these verses and they said that they present that in Srimad Bhagavatam also Lord Shiva is glorified like this. So how you can say? So I don't understood what you explain, that how to convince others.
Already convinced. You have to be convinced. Others are all convinced. So now the answer already given very long back we discussed. Any Purana, in that Purana which is establishing Vishnu, that much only we should take. And why don't we take other Puranas? The other means, okay, now Shiva Purana is saying Shiva as the Supreme Personality of God. Even Vishnu is also glorifying Shiva as Supreme Personality of God. Let us see some very few find like that. Okay, then we should take that. Shiva Purana as authentic, also we said. And that's why we should take now Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead as a conclusion. You may say like this, but we already said, na? Who is a Chakravarti? We already made Srimad Bhagavatam as Chakravarti. And whoever is following Chakravarti, they are authentic. That much is right, and if it is not in line to that,
So wherever this argument is come, we have to give some statement that Lord Shiva said to God.
this, and you should say other Puranas also so have this kind of chances. That means that Purana is meant for the Kalpa of the, that Purana is having the story of the Tamasic Kalpa. So there Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu only, Lord Vishnu's avatara, that Shiva is nothing but the Lord Vishnu's avataras only, and that is glorified for the people of that that Kalpa. So, but you should not take it as it is. So you should take originally Vishnu is only established ultimately through that also. But you should not take that from the Shiva Vishnu is coming. You are getting? In that way you should clearly give the complete picture. Clearly should explain. So how can you say Vishnu is only the, from Vishnu only all the Shiva and the Brahma is coming, but we are seeing in the Shiva Purana Vishnu and Brahma is coming from this Shiva. One may say like that. Then what you should say? So who is the highest Pramana? Which Pramana? But that is for the Shiva. But to establish Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead, so it might have been said there, Vishnu and Brahma are coming from the Shiva. Okay? But what we should say, so you should say Matsya Purana itself is dividing Puranas into 3 categories, and it kept Shiva Purana in the category of Tamasika group, and we have the sequence Sattva Sanjayate Jnanam. So that's why you should take the Puranas of the Sattvic Puranas. By reading the Sattvic Puranas, what will happen? One will come to the mode of goodness, and he will come close to the Paramatattvam. And also Vyasadeva compiled what? As a summary story of everything, his compilation. And now we should remember the Tattva Sandarbhas, the first section. Pramana Paddhati. Pramana, establishing Srimad Bhagavatam as the Chakravarti, you should quote all the points. There are the different sages, and these all sages out of that. Vyasadeva is concluded as a Vyasadeva is only the out of all 6 rishis, Jaimini and what is that? Jaimini, Ganada kahan se hai? Kanada, Gautama, Gautama, Patanjali, among all. So Vyasadeva is the supreme. Because he is incarnation of the Lord, and out of that his Bhashya, his Vedanta Sutras is the topmost, and that is because all Puranas and also compilation of all these and all rishis also engaged by the Vyasadeva. And we also saw Vyasadeva is having the supreme place than others, because whatever Vyasadeva knows, even Brahmaji also doesn't know that. We heard. Yes or no? Many places? You should read the Tattva Sandarbha once again. Then all the points will come. So first establish Vyasadeva, establish Vedanta Sutra, then establish on that Vedanta Sutras what is the natural commentary? Bhagavatam. And even after writing all the Puranas, Vyasadeva didn't become happy. Why? Anything anyone speak, they will speak from the Puranas. And out of all those Puranas, who is the highest? That you should know how to establish Srimad Bhagavatam as highest. Because even after writing all these Puranas, he didn't become happy. When he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, then he became happy. For that, he should read once again 5th chapter of 1st canto. Then, nobody will speak in front of you. No Vedanti will speak and no Pauranik will speak. Everyone will be out. Yes? Not just get the bewilderment. मैंने थोड़ा सा 1-2 श्लोक दिखा के हाँ इसमें शिवा है इसमें. No. Come to the total discussion. Come to the entire discussion. Many students actually, whoever come to the devotional service, especially, oh, these ISKCON people are very fanatic and they always say Krishna, Krishna, and this is simply like is Muslims. And all the devatas are same one. Even this, my Vaiva, my guide himself is attacking on me. It's too much. Actually, external guide is not saying anything. My guide, internal guide, he is attacking on me. So in BHU, Banaras Hindu University. So he is attacking on me, and he was question was asked, what is the difference? What is the difference between the Advaita philosophy and Achintya Veda? You explain. Then I started explaining. And what is the difference between Anirvichaniyatvam and Achintyatvam? So difference, Anirvichaniyatvam is accepted by the Shankaracharya and Achintyatvam is accepted by the Jiva Goswami. So Anirvichaniyatvam means they accept Maya as Sat, also Maya as Asat. But that Maya is Jiva Agnana Kalpitam. It is imaginary. But in our case, we accept Shakti and Shaktiman. So they are having Beda and Abheda, and that's why it is this Beda Abheda is simultaneously existing. So it is beyond, that's why it is beyond logic, and that's why we say it is Achintyatvam. But Achintyatvam is having existence, but whatever the object which is Anirvichaniyam, that is not having any existence actually. That is imaginary. So then I said, and immediately they started attacking on me. How you are saying this Maya is imaginary, and you people take the commentary of the Siddhar Swami, and then you are speaking everything from there, but you are rejecting this Bhagavat Path Shankaracharya. Yeah, chalo. I didn't go for the debate, but anyway, finished. And he wrote he is the best karke. The marks actually in that commentary, that external guide. So report it came as best discussion, best this. This time, no, in that interview, my performance was best. So he said. Anyway, so that will go on. But you should know, that's why you make the complete preparation. Prepare from all the directions. Then if they ask this doubt, then what is answer? If they ask this doubt, then what is answer? If they ask this doubt, what is answer? After saying this, they may ask this doubt. After saying this, they may ask this doubt. Like this, you should prepare. If you present anywhere like this also, everyone will like. Nowadays, intellectual boys, so they like in this way. If you present in that logically, like how these acharyas. So that's why other Puranas are also authentic. In the way, they are also, somehow or other way, they are also establishing Vishnu only. Vishnu eva tadatmanam pratyayata. Tat kalpam prapya Vishnu eva tadatmanam pratyayata. Vishnu only is going to each kalpa, and so he is exhibiting himself as Shiva and Brahma. Because that's why all the time you need the protection of the Achintya Veda Veda. To prove this, you need the Achintya Veda Veda. Without Achintya Veda Veda, you cannot prove all avatars also how they are Lord. Because then you bring out the philosophy of Achintya Veda Veda. Shakti is not different from the Shaktiman. If you read all other philosophies, Suddha Advaita, Advaita, Dvaita, Swabhavika Veda Veda, Suddha Advaita. These are the prominent philosophies in the present society. 4 Vaishnava philosophies and 1 is the Advaita. That means Advaitin's philosophy, that is. But all these philosophies, if you see, there is a loophole. And if you try to correct that loophole slowly, then finally it will take the shape of Achintya Veda. Vishishta Advaita is also having loophole, and if you fix that, then finally it will become. Dvaita is also having loophole, and if you fix that, if you like this, say Swabhavika Veda Veda and Suddha Advaita, all have some loopholes. If you fix, everyone will become Achintya Veda. That's why Achintya Veda Veda is the complete philosophy. If you know this, then your all doubts will be clear. So then no other sampradaya will compete. But now there is one more problem is coming. These Chaitanya Mahaprabhu followers are not bhajananandis. They don't have sufficient bhajan to get this swarupa. This now another threat is there actually in the society now, present society. Threat is, especially ISKCON is also is not complete process to get this swarupa mukti. Swarupa, that means swarupa realization. This kind of another, because all the time society, whenever you want to promote anything, so society keep on digging the faults in you, and they want to show now what is that. Oh, philosophically they are very strong now, so now we will attack in another. Maya always attack in the Kali attacks in different ways. Sadhana, now they talk about the sadhana. Their sadhana is insufficient, but that is also wrong actually. Because Jiva Goswami very systematically proved, and many people they reject. Nowadays I am seeing even the Vraj, many sadhus, so-called many ajkal famous sadhus, nowadays the famous sadhus, they are saying the Smarana Marga is the highest. Smarana, we should do the all the time, meditation, Smarana. We should meditate the Krishna's Leelas. That is the highest perfection. So that is also one more illusion. They think Kirtana, Shravanam and Kirtanam is just insignificant sadhanas. But it's not correct. We discussed in the Bhakti Sandarbha, Kirtan is a very eternal. Shravanam, one should start with Shravanam, and Kirtanam is eternal, and after the getting prayojana, after achieving the goal also, you will continue the Kirtanam. Kirtanam is very, very important. And in Kali Yuga, what is that? What movement is this? Is Yagnaihi Sankirtana Prayehi Yajantihi Sumedasa. So see the fundamental foundational principle they are crossing, and they are saying we are insufficient. What Karabhajan is saying? Karabhajan is saying Sankirtana Prayehi Yajanti Sumedasa. If anyone is intelligent in the Kali Yuga, he should worship the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of Sankirtan. So, but in the case of others, so these Babajis, I am really hearing and I am getting so much disturbance actually, because my students also some left, and I am very much unhappy. This is so false propaganda actually. In the Kali Yuga, Smarana Marga will not successful, and Jiva Goswami is saying, once if you become perfect through the Shravanam and Kirtanam, if your heart is purified, then you may go to the Smarana. Smarana is also not so easy, he is saying. It needs the prerequisite, that means it needs some condition. Without purified Antakarana, if you start thinking, then instead of Radharani, you will get some other thing. If you meditate on the Radharani's Leela. Anyways, Smarana is also having different categories. Smaranam, Dhyanam, Dharanam, Dhruvanusmritihi, Naisha Samadhi. So, we may do Kirtan in some stage, some stage it is not there. But the main point is Smaranam is not for the Kali Yuga process. And that's why Jiva Goswami took this much hard endeavor, and why he compiled this book. Because in the present society, what nonsense is going, he knows. He knows the present nonsense. Not only present means not only just for 500 years. For coming 100,000 years also, what kind of nonsense will come, they know. They have that much Duradarshi, they have that much vision. And they wrote. So that's why we should be prepared for we should be ready with our content. We should be knowing our acharyas explanations for each. Then you will be having fixed sadhana and fixed steadiness in your devotional process. Otherwise, after hearing all these things, you will also get agitation. Speculating so many things. Maybe we should do like this. Maybe Prabhupada gave this some little insufficient knowledge. Really, maybe. These people actually, Krishna Balram leaving and going some other place. What is this nonsense? What is this simple nonsense thing? Let them read the Ujjwal Nilamani and other books. And one more trouble is there in the society, one more main problem. So whoever the in charge leaders, they should know the properly the scriptures and follow, they should guide the followers with the proper, whenever they ask doubts, they should nicely answer and they give proper directions and properly they explain, then their shraddha will be same. But if you don't give, you do only cleaning the pots, then you will get the all the realization, then what will happen? So they get bewildered, that means nothing is there here and they will go somewhere. Yes. Huh? Huh. Yeah. 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 So that's why it is now the crisis time. I really sincerely pray to everyone, all of you, sincerely study Sandarbhas and Srimad Bhagavatam commentaries, Prabhupada purpose, and grasp the missionary spirit from those purports, and also understand the concepts clearly. Whatever doubts you have, just clear it. Everything clear it. It's not a big thing. Only few 6 Sandarbhas, and it will take hardly 2-3 years. Then everything, whole life, it is sufficient. You can nicely preach and prepare for that, and we can do other things later, definitely. So next, so like this, other Puranas also having the authenticity, but the way is different. And next, tatha tataiva cha tat tat puranam prastavati. So in this way, Lord is taking the different avatars in the different kalpas, and that's why that story was like that, and that Purana is also like that. Tasmad yatha adrushtameva tattad vachanam na anyathatvam vahati. Na. Tasmad yatha adrushtameva tattad vachanam, so na anyathatvam vahati. Kintu satva sanjayate gnanam iti ब्रह्मकाण्डस्यैव सात्विकपुराणानां सर्वोर्धव ज्ञानम् इत्येवं लभ्यते. See, other Puranas, how they are? Lord now in the Tamasic Kalpa took in the he is manifested in the form of Shiva, and that deity is worshipped predominantly by all the people. So that's why that Purana is also glorifying that. And that's why those statements as it is, that Purana statements are as it is glorifying that form. But kintu sattva sanjayate gnanam. Of course, now it is, final statement is what? All Puranas are always, everyone is ultimately indirectly glorifying Vishnu only. So then can I worship Vishnu in the form of Shiva? That means what is our final conclusion? Vishnu only, Shiva is avatar of the Vishnu only. That means in somehow or other it is Shiva is one way is Vishnu's avatara. So can I worship the Shiva only? Like that one may ask, but you cannot worship because sattva sanjayate gnanam. If you worship Shiva, what will happen? If you worship Vishnu, what will happen? There is a difference. So, what is the difference? Once again, you should come to the Bhagavatam. Once again, there, that second chapter is a very important chapter. So, if you worship the Brahma and Shiva, so what you will be getting? You will be getting Sri Aishwarya Prajapsavaha. And whenever wants to, anyone wants to get liberation, what they should worship? Narayana Kalaha, Shantaha, Bejiri, Mokshavo Gora Rupan Hitva Bhuta Patinata, Narayana Kalaha Shantaha, Bhajanti Anasuyavaha. So that's why one should worship Narayana. And that means finally what? If you make all the Puranas as one book, these Sattvic Puranas are like the like the Brahma Kanda. That means it is like Jnana Kanda. Like in the Vedas we have Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda and Jnana Kanda. Yes or no? So similarly, if you take all these Puranas as a one book, so out of this, these Sattvic Puranas are like Brahma Kanda or the Jnana Kanda. Is essence. Yeah. Whoever is in the modes, that means whoever is in the Sakami, that means Sakami, he will be mostly attracted by the which Kanda in the Vedas? Karma Kanda. So similarly, whoever in the mode of ignorance, those will be attracted by the which Puranas? Tamasic Purana. But if he really wants to get benefit out of Vedas, which part he should read? Out of Vedas, which part he should read? Jnana Kanda. Jnana Kanda. So, but in the same way in the Puranas, which part he should read? Sattvic Puranas. So this way you should understand. Tacha Satvika Purana eva drishyate cha tadapi Paramatma Sandarbhe lekyam. Once again we will study all these concepts very detailedly in the Paramatma Sandarbha. It will be more clear actually. So now we are discussing little, but in the Paramatma Sandarbha we will discuss even elaborately, and also Krishna Sandarbha. Anyway, Paramatma Sandarbha will start after this 1 or 2 months later. Sri Bhagavatenapi evam vadanti श्री भागवतेनापि एवं वदन्ति राजर्षेर इत्यादिना तादृश मतं न मतं तद इदं तु श्री कृष्ण संदर्भे विशिष्य स्थापयिष्यामः. One second. In the 10th canto, 77th chapter, 30th sloka, it is saying, I will read out the translation. Their opinion is not really opinion. Whose opinion? Their opinion is not really opinion. Directly it is said. एवं वदन्ति राजर्षे ऋषयः केचनान्विता यत्स्वावाचो विरुध्येता न्यूनं तेन स्मरन्त्युता. Such is the account given by some sages, O wise king, but those who speak in this illogical way are contradicting themselves, having forgotten their own previous statements. If someone thinks that the Lord Krishna was actually bewildered by Shalva's magic and that the Lord was subjected to ordinary mundane lamentation, such an opinion is illogical and contradictory, since it is well known that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, transcendental and absolute. This will be further explained in the following verse. Actually, it is 77th chapter. Krishna slays the demon Shalya. So that is the topic. There, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, so they are thinking Krishna as an ordinary human being. So their opinion is not proper. So here, by taking this sloka in the Krishna Sandarbha, so a lot of things are discussed, and in that context, it is said that Tadinantu Sri Krishna Sandarbhe Vishish Sthapishyamaha Sri Bhagavatenapi Evam Vadanti Rashi Ityadina Tadrusham Matam Na Matam. That means the Puranas, the opinion, Shiva and Brahma as Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is not correct, but Krishna is only the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. This once again will establish in the Sri Krishna Sandarbha. Very elaborately he explains that. It is moderate. It is less than the Bhakti Sandarbha, it is more than the Bhagavad Sandarbha. In middle of that. And also, Vishishya Stapayishyamaha Swamatam tu. So, what is the matam of this Srimad Bhagavatam? Why we have to take the opinion of Srimad Bhagavatam? Why we should not take the opinion of the other Puranas? So, other Puranas as it is you should not take. That means Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead you should not take. But you should understand that Shiva is also Gunavatara of the Lord, and in that way you can take. It is also explaining about the Vishnu. But as it is you could not take. Because Bhagavata opinion is only the real opinion. That in the Krishna Sandarbha we will be seeing. Just 1 second, 2 minutes just I have already. I have 2 more minutes. In the Krishna Sandarbha, I am reading from the Krishna Sandarbha. Anuched, I don't know, Prabhu. So, Nanu Padmottara Kandadidu Kandadadau Sarvavatari Parama Vyomadipatihi Narayana Eva iti Sruyate Panchiratraudu tu Vasudevaha Nacha Krishna eva iti Vakyatvam Tattu Sthana Parikramanama Rupanam Bhedat Tarihi Katham Sri Krishna Eva Sarvavataritvam Swayam Bhagavatvam Va Tatra Uchite Sri Bhagavatasya Sarvasastra Chakravartitvam Prathama Sandarbhe Prathak Pragatakenaiva Darshitam. Now you see, very important point. You have Tamasika Puranas, you have this Rajasika Puranas, you have the Satvik Puranas. Anyway, Satvik Puranas, you are eliminating Satvik Puranas from the Rajasika and Tamasik by saying the Sattva Sanjayate Gnanam. But in the Satvik Puranas also Padma Purana is there and also Srimad Bhagavatam is there. And Padma Purana is saying, so the Vishnu, Narayana is the cause for all the avatars. He is the avatari, according to the Padma Purana. And Narada Pancharatra is saying, Pancharatra and Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, Krishna is the cause for everything. So now whom we should take? Once again we have same trouble. Narayana, he is, someone is saying, Padma Purana is saying Narayana, so why can't we consider Narayana as Supreme Personality of God? Why you are saying Krishna? So this one more point is there. Then what is the answer for this? Out of these Sattva Puranas also, who is Chakravarti? Srimad Bhagavatam is a Chakravarti. Already we established. Why we should take only Srimad Bhagavatam? You should immediately go back. That means it is the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutras and it is written after all the Puranas. So Vyasdev became fully satisfied after writing Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why, so Srimad Bhagavatam, since it is a Chakravarti, so whatever it said, so that you should take. Then you should accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, and to make other Puranas also as authentic, now you should interpret that Vakyam. You should also accept Shiva Purana as authentic, but how to interpret you should learn. Getting? You should take the opinion of Srimad Bhagavatam as it is, and other Puranas' opinion you should interpret in the line of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you say Shiva is Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you justify that. Krishna only is taking the Gunavatara and he is a Shiva. So since it is happening in the Tamasic Kalpa and that Purana is written for those, is written by seeing those stories. So that's why you are seeing Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like this you should explain. Yeah. So you should take the opinion of Srimad Bhagavatam as it is, and other opinions you should interpret in the line of this. And why, how can you say Shiva is the Gunavatara? So Srimad Bhagavatam itself is saying Rajastama Prakrute Guna. Okay? So like this, even among the Satvika Puranas, someone is going against to the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Narayana, now what is the point we are getting? In the Padma Purana, Narayana is explained as Avatari. Okay? Then how to interpret? So Krishna's Swamsha only. So now here Krishna is known as Narayana. Like this you should reconcile. So now, that means he is a Swamsha. So that we will be seeing in the Paramatma Sandarbha, Purusha Avataras. There you can see. That is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam also. It is all pervading. All the statements are there. That's Jagruhe Paurusham Rupam. So he took the Paurusha Rupam. Purusha Rupam he took. Who took? Krishna took. Because that Sota Goswami started with that Jagruhe and he is saying Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That means in the first sloka also he said Bhagavan. Bhagavan took the Purusha Rupam. You are getting? In the first canto, third chapter. What is the first sloka is saying? First sloka is Jagruhe Paurusham Rupam Bhagavan. Bhagavan took the form of Purusha Rupam. And who is that Bhagavan? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. You should interpret this all the lines together. Initially didn't mention name. Finally Sota Goswami mentioned the name. Krishna only took the Purusha Rupa. That means Narayan Rupam, other Rupas. Where? In the Padma Purana it is coming. They, in the Vishnu Purana, Vishnu is said as everything. And yeah, so it's for the different upasakas, even among these upasakas, they are all different and having the inclination to the different forms of the Lord. Hmm. That is, say, you see, why is name Shiva is used? Because the Lord took and that Kalpa Shiva is predominating deity, so that's why Shiva's name is taken. Similarly, it is the speaker, whoever is explaining, so he is seeing the Parantattva in the form of Narayana, that's why he is explaining in that way. Yeah. 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 Okay, last two lines. Just I have two lines and I'll finish this Anucheda. स्वमतं तु सत्यं शौचं दया क्षान्ति इत्यादिना श्री पृथिवी वाक्येन कांति सह ओजो बलानामपि स्वाभाविकत्वम् अव्यभिचारित्वं च दर्शयता दर्शितं नष्टे लोके इत्यादिना श्री देवकी देवी वाक्येन च. So now from the two mothers we have, two mothers are explaining the Supreme Lord. One mother is Devaki and another mother is Prithvi. Not these two mothers. Not our two mothers. Okay. So these two mothers, they are explaining how the Lord Satyam, Shaucham, Daya, Kshanti. These are all the qualities of the Lord. Prithvi Mata is saying. And Kanti Saha Oja Bhalam. And also Mother Devaki, she is saying Nashte, look, even all the creation is destroyed, but he is remaining. So from this what we are understanding, he is not having any birth and death and he is having all the transcendental qualities. So Tasma Sadhu Uktam Yadrupam Dhruvam Akrutam. So finally we understood Lord's form is made by anyone. Akrutam. It is not done by anyone, but it is beyond the death and birth. Yeah, that is the eternal. Iti Sri Sukaha. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.